Yeah, my name is Elizabeth Scott, and I am a psychotherapist and I have a practice called Heartsight Healing. I do IFS therapy, and I just launched my new coaching offer, Practical Alchemy, which is a 3-month journey for self-aware, heart-centered women to come home to themselves through IFS, Reiki, and astrology. And the biggest transformation I've been going through is doing this work of integrating these other parts of myself into my offerings. So beyond just the clinical, to bringing in more of these intuitive or complementary modalities that have been so powerful and so meaningful to me, and just getting to integrate that into the work that I've been doing. So I came across your Instagram, Sarah. I started following John Clark, and I did a podcast with him, and I saw your podcast interview with him. And so that's how I kind of came into your world and started listening to your podcasts and reading your newsletters. And meanwhile, this offering, Practical Alchemy, had been percolating in my mind for a really long time, and I didn't know what form it was going to take. I didn't know if I wanted it to be, if it should be a class or if it should be a group, or I just wasn't sure where to start, but I knew that I needed some kind of higher level of support to kind of bring it into being. And I had been starting to learn more about just the business of my practice, but I knew that if I wanted a coach, I wanted IFS focused, because that is my worldview now, and it would be very hard to engage with any kind of program that didn't have that lens. But also incorporating spirituality and IFS into the business piece, just those three things together just felt like exactly what I needed. And so as I learned more about the program, it just felt like exactly the right fit at the right time for me. So I also felt really supported by your energy in our call together. But one of the biggest pieces of resistance for me was parts coming up around concerns about the investment. It felt like it was a really big investment for me. And I knew on one level that it would be totally worth it and that it would be a very worthwhile investment. But at the same time, even just bringing up the conversation with my husband to talk about making this investment, I had parts that were really having a hard time with that. And I remember having this conversation with Sarah about enrolling your loved ones in your vision, and also just kind of being with the parts that were coming up. And it really created this opening for me to be able to have this conversation that let things move forward, and just recognizing the parts of me that were kind of holding the conversation back rather than it actually being any kind of external barrier. And once that was clear, I had total clarity. Yes, I'm so ready for this, and ready for this, both grounded and spiritual support, and expanding the way I'm ready to expand, and that I knew I couldn't do totally on my own without a higher level of support. And it created a huge shift. So yeah, actually, a lot has changed. One of the things, just on a practical level, is I feel really dialed in with my self-care practices, the structure of my week, checking my numbers. We have these ways, the weekly alignment of checking in with our business, and just doing that, I feel so clear on where I am and where things are. And I feel like I've learned and gained just really excellent habits and structures to that I will be carrying forward with my business, moving forward. So I just feel really confident in that. And then on another level, just working with the parts of me fearing visibility or being seen in the fact that I have these other things to offer, that I think, coming from a clinical background, just parts of me have fears and concerns about being more open about that, and sharing this part of my work, and sharing this part of what really feels like a calling for me, and getting to a place of feeling comfortable being with those parts enough to be able to put something that feels very much like me, feels very much like a part of me out into the world. And for that to feel really good. I heard from several friends today who saw my offer for the first time and they said, "This is so you." And that just feels like the most special part, that I really got to create that, and didn't have these parts with fears holding me back from doing it. Well, so one of them I would say has to do with just getting even more clear on my boundaries, with clients and with my business and with my work. I think just finding finding even more parts of myself, or finding parts of myself on a deeper level that had still been kind of over giving or over efforting, and just getting clarity about maybe difficult conversations I needed to have in certain relationships, or with certain clients, just about um, whether or not it was working, whether the time, for example, the time we were having with each other was going to be enough to support their needs. And you know, when things weren't in alignment, I felt myself over efforting, which was leading to kind of a depleted feeling. And so just letting go of working quite so hard, and just getting clarity about conversations I needed to have, and what needed to happen in some of those relationships, really there's a lightness to that. And I feel more confident in having those conversations too. Um, Another thing is doing a lot of updating of my website. So my website looks completely different now. I have new brand photos that feel really aligned with where I am, and just revisiting the copy and just including more of myself, where I am now in this moment, and these other parts of me, in addition to just the clinical work that I've been doing, so that there's this authentic signature that will resonate with people who are looking for what I have to offer. Um, and then really the biggest thing is creating this coaching program and just bringing it into form. I'm so excited about that. Again, I've been dreaming about this for years, and not only creating the coaching program, but also having a very clear vision with practical steps of how it might evolve from here. Starting here, but I do have ideas for a course in the future, and I feel like I have a clear plan, an idea of a realistic timeline, what I would need to know, what kind of feedback I would need to get, what information I would need to have to be able to create that course in the future. So not only what I have now, but I can really see very clearly where things are going from here, and have a good plan for that. There's so many favorite things I have about this program. Um, I love our weekly mentorship calls, just the chance to connect. The container just feels so safe and grounded and sacred at the same time. Just you have created the container so well, and um, just connecting with community there, from our check-ins to getting incredible, practical, very tangible feedback that changes the trajectory of what you're doing on these calls. Um, and also the practices. I mean, I use the grounding practice that you have shared with us, every day, multiple times a day. That's one of my go-to practices now. The practice of creating, or connecting with the soul of our business. I really love that one, and I've gone back to that one again. But so these weekly calls have really been just a touchstone for me in my week, and something I really look forward to, just connecting, but also it's just unbelievable how much I have received from those. But also just the way the whole program has been set up, just from the onboarding to the members area and the resources. The material, the depth of the material is so rich. And so there's so much to learn. And the community, I was really looking forward to being in a community of women who are in the same place, on the same page, wanting to grow their business in an aligned way. And in particular, just meeting Damiana, she and I are accountability partners. And so honestly, the introverted part of me was kind of like, well, I don't know if I want to have a partner that I meet with outside of these weekly meetings. But I'm so glad that I did because she and I have really connected and we've really been able to support each other. And we just the things we both have to share are kind of different, but on the same wavelength. And so I think our styles have really complemented each other. I've really learned things from her and I've enjoyed being able to support her too. And so I've really loved that, just having her as a resource in this group also. For me, it's really deepening into the delivery of Practical Alchemy, my new offering, and just really feeling into how it's landing with people. I'm really excited to discover just how the course of it unfolds when working with new clients and what stands out the most for them and what yeah, just how the flow might unfold. And you know, I'm excited to see how it's going to continue to grow and develop. And also similar to what Damiana was saying, working on systems of operation for the program and the delivery methods and just really refining that as I learn more about how this program is unfolding. And also just soaking up all of the resources I can in the members area. Just there are a few things I haven't gotten to yet, but I want to make sure I get through all of the master classes and some of the extra resources that are available just to make sure I get all the good wisdom and um, learning and teachings that are available. So that's my plan. I would say this is an incredible place to be experiencing a shift because there's so much support, both practical and spiritual. Um, there is just such incredible guidance on, really getting to know what is your exact situation in this moment. And given that, what is the roadmap kind of moving forward to create what you want to create? And so I know for myself, again, I've been dreaming about this for so long, and I just can't imagine it coming into being in the same way without this level of support. So just learning these skills from taking something from point A to point B, um, but also just the questions and fears and concerns and parts that come up along the way and having a place to notice them, hear from them, because it's such a process. It's not just, oh, here's your idea and now you're going to create it. There's so much that happens along that path and things that come up unexpectedly. And so just having a place where you can field all those things and be heard and supported and receive really helpful, practical advice that will help you move forward. It's just a space that really nurtures creation and nurtures the parts of you going through that transition. So I felt very held through my own transformation and kind of stepping into this next experience of myself. So grateful to you, Sarah, and so much gratitude for the space, for the container. And I'm really excited that our journey together will not be ending here. I'm so thrilled to get to be a part of the next iteration of this group.